Peace, peace, and more peace. Life is so magnificent in the aspect that you experience it. The rationalizing of the mind, of consciousness itself, me being the experiencer of it, and the extensions of my reality, of my perception, um, amongst others that have titled as, family, friends, loved ones, the language, the nomenclature of how we describe our consciousness, the religions, the back and forth, the debating, everything like this climatic, everything's happening at once, like in reality, what I'm experiencing and what so many others, but that's just a collective within itself of an entire collective of a mass of people singing the same tongue. Yeah, well, yeah, singing the same song, but in a different um, tune. Even even this thing we call time. I'm trying to put my thoughts and I'm trying to be. I'm attempting to give a visualization of that the attack on the mind, the last war to be fought would be the war for your mind. Even now, so through the television, which maybe we've forgotten that anagram of telling lies to your vision, because you the reality is that the visualization that everything is streamed real time, and of course something of this magnitude uh, fall on deaf ears, but just even my experience, like even my dreams are different. Like I'm seeing things before they happen. I'm seeing them as they happen, and it's almost as if like what I'm experiencing is that time doesn't exist. The construct of right now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but now, right now, is always a second of self eluding itself, meaning the capability of this vessel, this vestige, this me, this Brandon, this suit, this flesh, it bleeds, it grows, it produces stench, it thinks, it hungers, all of this. And everybody that has one, right, in the mind, the computer programming, the FACU, because there's an alarm mechanism within the brain that when the alarm sounds to a certain frequency or tune, because see, I'm hardwired in. And I use those words in that manner with such conviction because I am like hardwired in to this what I call life that's already been written. It's all everything that's happening, the evolution of the Christ consciousness, the evolution of the mind, the evolution of the brain, the evolution of the heart, the tongue, the eyes, the head, the skin, the mouth, everything. And the conviction of a higher me, a better me, having so many names, but it said, I am. You are too. We are. For the better part of it is that we all will elevate. No matter where you are in the present inception of yourself, and not even to mention all the ones that came and went away through an act they call living and leaving. You know, when we're born into this. You know, we are born, we are birthed through the woman. We are born into this reality that has already been going on prior to our birth here. As simple as this expression of myself, my truth, my perspective is, the reality of it is that it's all happening now. Like you know what I mean? Like it's the old world is passing away in the new world, the new order of the ages. This change, this thing that's transpiring. It's almost as if now, like, you know, my voice is just echoing into the nothingness, which is awesome because now it shows the separation that I am and now experiencing with this place, but now so more through my perspective of now really I've unplugged myself from it. YouTube itself will become a hell because YouTube has now attracted the minds where you pay attention. You pay literally, legitimately pay attention. You pay it. So now the money goes back to the digital from the nothingness. Now when you pay the donations and the super chats and all that, see the Bitcoin, the changing from a cashless society, because it's here now. It's been here. Lest we see the Great Reset was not. You're late. The fact that people are not just now for the past 2 to 3 years are talking about the Great Reset, and it already happened. What we're experiencing right now is where this is the only and shout out to my brother, and I'm gonna try to explain the best way I can verbatim what he said. This is the only reality where reincarnation exists, meaning that outside of this construct, elevated, you live you it's yours. Like it's it's mine. Like where when I leave this place, you know, and even it's hidden. Wow, Sean, it's hidden in the aspect and understanding of when they call Emmanuel said, you know, I go to prepare a place. I mean, he had to create it, right? So a creator. We're all creators. So content creators now stolen by AI, right? See, the artificial intelligence is not the smart thing. The artificial intelligence is to articulate in a way through zeros and ones of getting the brain, the masses, on the same in the same place. That's the artificial intelligence. To subjugate man to another consciousness reality. The present reality, the real reality is the snow, the rain, the heat, the northern lights being pushed down, you know, food changing to clone meat. Those are all the signs of the change. You know, like if you go watch the Dune 1 movie, when the Atreides, peep it, They had this one angel, the herald of the change. So the herald of the change, or the coming of the change, or the coming of the ages, like I said, I think this was 2016. Is Donald Trump still a president? Listen, don't y'all understand what's going on? If you go back, and I hate bringing this up, but I think we've forgotten the game. In Back to the Future 2, Biff was Donald Trump. But now the mockery of it, man, even it's all a script. All the Middle Eastern, Russian, all that stuff, the Russian submarine tanks down there in Cuba, so it's like the Bay of Pigs again from the Cuban Missile Crisis. Don't y'all get it, man? I don't think y'all get it. I don't think y'all understand the change that has happened. Like it's imminently done every day. But on the bright side, for those of us that know and understand, like, we have families, we have children, we have brotherhood, sisterhoods, neighborhoods, a clan, meaning man and mankind and humankind, our creed, our kind on this planet, on this plane of existence. We study war no more. We study hunger no more. The fact that it exists means that it can only be created and thus enforced by man through cryptocurrencies, right? Cryptocurrency. Crypto meaning the crypt, more deaths, applied to the mortgage, the gauge, gauging the see, now man now taking the first step, huh? Y'all gotta understand something, man. It's bigger than Donald Trump, it's bigger than Diddy, it's bigger than Russia, it's bigger than Israel, it's bigger than the wildfires in Canada, the snowing in Montana is going on right now, the Florida flooding in Central Florida. You know what I mean? The people are running from something in South America, running away, and now it's hidden through the politics or politricks. Have we not forgotten the original purpose of why there was this call? Anyway, through this medium long ago, but YouTube changed. Because now consciousness is now conscious, y'all. Like, and what I mean by that, man created AI because through man's arrogancy of questioning reality as if reality isn't reality, so now man can subjugate himself to AI and then inflict it upon himself and now afraid of it. And then hide behind that in the calm behind the storm, the calm behind the wordplay. All the magic that's been diluted over all this time, the real magic, one of the most powerful ones that was left, and it got destroyed, the voodoo. You know what I mean? And now the hex and incantations that are placed in certain places. My brother Huey P is locked up in the dark spaces. Shout out to C. Duncan, man, my brother. Even died that cool. Many didn't understand totally, but I now they are no longer here. To show though the one that is really perceiving and actually paying attention to his consciousness or their consciousness and noticing, like, for example, I reflected on the year 1994 today. And I can vividly remember the energy of what it felt like in 1994. And by doing so, I then began to remember certain songs that was playing on the radio. You know what I mean? The movies that was out, the heat from the sun, the smell of the rain. You know what I mean? You used to be able to smell rain before it came. It was like this earthy smell. I don't smell it no more. You know, age 37, I don't smell the rain before it comes anymore. You know what I mean? And now, as I snapped out of it, and I was like, oh wow, like the real reality is that we already live in, and again, excuse me for the nomenclature, we already live in eternity. Like, the misnomer is to make you forget that you have the function to question in the first place, lets you know that there's something greater, because there have to be something to hold consciousness or to hold that thought as you think on it. So that means there has to be two things operating in the same space for you to contemplate and to think. Because think about it, if you're thinking, like I just said, if think about it, you have to think. That that means that you have a certain power that is separate from any other beast of the field. And then he's like, oh, well, wait a minute. So really, the Bible, the books of it is a romanticized historical piece of literature that explains everything in the most layman's of terms that was agreed upon by the pontiffs and the kings of that time. In the whole Nicene Creed, the Council of Nicaea, burning Nero, Gilgamesh and the Iliad, and that whole thing that came out of that era, the Roman era, the romanticized, the history is really lies agreed upon and written in the books. You see? And I said all that to say, I love it that it's happening now. You know what I mean? Like, where as if COVID didn't happen. Like, you see how the world stopped for 3 years, 3 days. The world stopped. Everybody was COVID. There was no Russia, Ukraine and Israel and Donald Trump. It was none of this. The internet and the fame and all this bullshit that's going on. The whole world stopped. Don't you think there was the irony behind that? Huh? How can everybody, the whole world, whether it was a false flag or real or not real, fuck all of that. The fact that it happened and out of the COVID came now, like, there's a herald of a change that has happened. Just like in Doom, the first movie, like that, we got to understand how there's nothing in Hollywood that is not approved by the Pentagon. There, nothing in Hollywood. I want you to understand this. When you watch a movie, when you look at the credits, it has that seal at the bottom. At the very end, it's meaning that when they used to get an FBI warning, don't use whatever, you'll be fined by $200,000, whatever. Remember that we was looking, oh shit, hey, you know what I'm saying? Don't make no copy of this shit because it has to be approved by the Pentagon, the federal goddamn in Langley over there. What I'm trying to say is social reality, the social construct, social economics, the way movies are shot, the way the news reports the news, it all is federally regulated, which means that they know and there has to be a script for it to happen. You have the judicial branch, the executive branch. You have these different houses, the way structure. You have the Food and Drug Administration, which is a government regulated thing that regulates food. Look at the definition of food. What's edible for human consumption? The Food and Drug Administration, meaning the opiate pandemic, all of it's planned. Why? How do I know that? Because you have drugs to counteract the problems that you happen when you get on opioids. And those cause more problems. But to make it to double down on it, the food that you eat will only be corporate foods, corporate giants. Everybody's selling chicken now. Everybody's selling every different type of fucking chicken. There's no way that the meat that's in the food restaurants is not printed up, copied, or grown in the lab. That is not real meat anymore. It's impossible. You know how many chickens it has to be in order for every damn chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, you name it, mom and pop shops. You know how many chickens it will have to fucking be? And then I'm reminded about the movie Soylent Green. All the fish that's eaten now, that fish is farmed. It's raised in a fish tank, a big ass fish tank. The same, imagine a fish tank that we used to have growing up back in the 90s. But imagine a tank that's 50,000 gallons full of farm raised tilapia and salmon and all that stuff, and the fish just in a big ass tank, and you paying, you know what I'm saying, $60, $70 because it's all about capitalism, greed in a sinking ship. You feel me? But that lets you know how far and how bad and how good and how great things are. Really, really have come. But I'm reminded that through my faith and my direction that has been given to me, and I be a good steward, or you yourself be a good steward over the blessing of the fact that you are in control of self. You are in control of your emotions of self. You are in control of what you eat of self. You are in control of what you say of self, how you think and how you operate. Because there has to be a balance on the Libra scale, even in the constellation Libra. Like, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, everything is everything. As above, so below. We it's like we've forgotten that everything that we're experiencing is a romanticized lie agreed upon that sticks together by a fucking handshake and a lie. Because greed and envy, the lesser of two evils. Cain killed Abel. Well, but that's like a moral of the story of it. You know what I mean? Like, everything in life builds upon itself because it's like a ripple effect in a great ocean. And we are the rocks, the stones, the stone in this ethereal plane where we make a lasting imprint, not only within ourselves, but around people we come in contact with, and they come in contact with us. Like, there has to be an equilibrium for the existence of man and mankind. Like, when you really understand that whole wordplay of of saying man and mankind, which denotes there's two different beings or entities, if you want to use that word, that's here in this existence. In chaos theory, two things can be true at once. And And the brother Bobby Hemmett once said that, there's beauty in chaos. And now I understand what that means is you having the creative ability to organize that chaos. And the beauty of it is that it's your creation. Like I've seen my heaven for me, right? Like I've seen it, and that's something that no man, woman, or anything in this reality can take. It's not for sale, and that is the true power. And it's protected by love, no matter what. In the sacral, and then it resonates here, centralized right here. Because that right in that organ is where a lot of different elements go through that organ that pumps it throughout the whole body. You know what I mean? It's its own type of gland. You know what I mean? Like in a way that it extrapolates things and processes things, and and it's electrified. You know what I mean? The heart. The SA node. The sinus atrium node. Right? It's like the size of like a dime, and it has a rhythm, it has a frequency. You know what I mean? It look like little uh, squiggly lines, like the earthquake. If you're familiar with the little earthquake machine thing, it's similar to that, but it's more organized. When the way the heart is supposed to beat. Because it's the pumping action of the different chambers of the heart. But it's all done through electricity. So the body conducts electricity. Though we are flesh, so that means there has to be some type of metallic alloy within the body, along with water and salts, even within the hair. When static electricity, when as a little kid, you rub your hair, with the little balloon, and you see the hair stand up. So that means that what we live on has to be electrified, or it has to have some type of electric conductivity to it. And sorry for saying that wrong, but the fact that means that it itself is alive, and there's a connection to that. So then it stands to say, okay, well, what's bigger than the earth? What can contain creation itself that gives it its proposition? Because we live upon the plane of earth. So that means that the earth has to be alive to emit electricity. So the proof in the pudding is now when we see electricity from the sky touch the ground. So now, okay, now we see the link. And it's beautiful, y'all. Whoever gonna hear this. Like, life is awesome, and and some days, you know, it's tough, but 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 it's okay, because these things have to happen. We're gonna have, every day is not gonna be a good day, stronger in the end. You know, um, lessons that can be learned, and then being able to, in a rightful, righteous way of looking at, your brother, the common man out there. It says, it is written that the poor, the meek, the liar, everybody, everything, the saint, the sinner, the nun, the prostitute, everything in reality, everything comes will stand before its judgment, right? The judgment meaning coming to a point of self-reflection. You judging you. Isn't it not written, I am? Well, what's his name? I am. And even when they called Jesus said, I am, you know. But it's not told why. What does it mean when it say I am? Aren't you judged in a court? If you break the law of the land, you, John Doe versus the state of Tennessee, it ain't God standing before, huh? It ain't God standing before the court, standing before the judge and the clerk and everybody in the background, the lawyer, the defense, the prosecutor. No, it's you. They ask you, I, such and such, such and such, raise your hand, put your hand on the Bible. That's what they say. Why you think it's done that way, though? Man, it's a beautiful time to be alive. The smile on my kids' faces, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and my children, you know, they're not growing up in the world that, you know, I grew up in, a lot of us grew up in, where, you know, they can easily, you know, ride their bike outside and, you know, not come back to the lights. You know what I mean? That childhood when, you know, we all playing, you know, basketball, you know, on the streets, or, you know, the ice cream truck, and, you know what I mean? We go outside and just play. But now you have to worry about somebody possibly kidnapping your child. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you had, but now it's like it's more frequent than it used to be. You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember, you know, as in elementary school, seeing the milk cartons. You know what I mean? Like with little kids is missing, and but even that was strange because, like, who would want to harm a child? Like, who in their right frame of mind would hurt something that is so innocent and pure? Like, if you have children, you know, I have children, and you seeing the innocence, the purity of what we as humans can create and experience, and pour in the love and emotion, and just watching this humanoid, this baby, this child, this daughter, this son that grows, and now they have their own, you know, reality and their own wants, and you know what I mean? And it's like, wow, like, and it's like almost as if we forget about that simple logic behind life. We'll rather debate about if the earth is flat or round, that you by yourself is just like the ant. The ant don't know that it lives in Florida. You see what I'm saying? And that's the smallest. So just as well as a bird doesn't know that it lives in North America. It flies, it roams. Even the ant, you know what I mean? They have colonies all spread out. So even us, it's the natural way of things, and we have gotten away from that. I need to get some sleep because I've been up and been trying to study for this exam. Past few days have been tough, you know, just staying in this book and looking at the computer light, you know what I mean? You know, I probably got to get me some blue light lenses or something to put on my laptop, but I just had to chime in really quick, man. It's a beautiful time though, you know. I mean, I can't complain. You know, we can't really complain because, you know, I mean, my grandma used to say, "There's always somebody doing worse than you." You know, hell, I remember growing up seeing the little commercials with the hungry kids. You know what I mean? It's like you ask yourself, like, whatever happened to them children? You know what I mean? Like, I remember vividly seeing these little kids, you know what I mean, in these commercials, and they had this little soft music playing in the background. It's like, and as a child, I felt bad, like, and I be saying, damn, like, thinking I be throwing away food, and you know what I mean, getting mad because oh mom, we couldn't go to McDonald's and get the little toy. I remember all them damn days. You know what I mean? Excuse my French, but whatever happened to them kids? And now I'm thinking and just thinking about that's that child, that entity's experience. Seeing a 7-year-old child, a 6-year-old child, a 5-year-old child, nothing but skin and bones and hungry. And then it begs the question, though, why do we have to pay for food, though, to live on the planet Earth in this universe? You see what I'm saying? Like even when you take the religious, even when you take the nomenclature, even when you take away all of the scruples of life, the earth provides it for free to man. The orange tree don't charge us to grow an orange. The sun damn sure don't charge us. And it's too hot outside. But without that bitch, excuse my French again, we wouldn't have the food to eat, to grow. You see what I'm saying? But now man and all of his piousness, a bag of oranges is $10. And it's not even good oranges. It's GMO oranges, no seeds in it. It don't even taste like an orange no more. You know what I mean? Bananas don't taste like bananas no more. It hasn't been like that now for like 6, 7 years. And so now all the kids that are born now are eating nothing but GMO foods. So what do you think that does to the DNA? Because the sun emits different light frequencies, and what do you mean, B? Well, if you remember the prism things as a little kid, we are getting played in school, and then, the light shines through it, and then it shines a rainbow. So you have different gammas and different levels of radiation that it does something through the chlorophyll, through the green leaves, right, which are the solar panels for the leaf, for the tree, for the branch, for the vines, for the root, right? And it programs the food based on the programming in the seed that we put in the ground in the darkness, right? It has to add H2O to hydrogen, to the oxygen, right, molecule, right, to make water, because that's a chemical reaction that happens with the soil and the water and the seed, because it's a carbon based, it's carbon based, and it itself is derived and comes from the periodic table that we now understand is pretty much the glue that makes everything everything. But man instilled on all his piousness, being greedy. That's why it's also written that, a sword shall be placed in front of the tree of life to guard it. Because yes, we are gods in the aspect that we are given powers of a god, but we are gods because we are not one. We're separate. Thus, given the free will, because each god, each person, each soul, each angel of light, angle of light, each piece of light, clothed in white robes, speaking different tongues, and it was asked, well, who are they? Clothed in all white. So many that no man can put a number on it. Remember that? And it says, oh, these are they who came out of the great tribulation. What is that really saying, though? We are right at the door. We just got to keep enduring every day. A lot of our loved ones, a lot of people that I know didn't make it. I know a lot of people that I grew up with that didn't make it to the day. I knew some that passed away 5, 6 years ago. Hell, mine might come one day, you know what I mean? But life will continue. And so in all multitasking that any man, woman can do is to accomplish two things at once, killing two birds with one stone, meaning that you are a god, you are a generator. You can generate, you generate power. You do, through potential and kinetic energy. You run. You know what I mean? You that capability is because the body produces power. It has to. So the creator made sure that we had a pump central in the heart. And the creator also made sure that through the design that our aorta through here, and then the lungs is all centralized, and then also with the intestines, which is the dumping station that once all the spent stuff, fuel, and all the toxins that it filters out through the liver, right? The liver is the filter, you know what I mean, and the livers are the filter, and then you got the kidneys, which are the coolant stations, right? And then the bladder itself, the bladder now that holds, all the spent waste. Then you have the gallbladder, which processes all the other harsh toxin stuff. So that'll be your oil can. Through all man's piousness, we question our reality because we don't like the answer that we were created. And because we can't hear the answer because that's not the way it works, so we create another God, AI, which is akin to say when Moses went to the mountain and he came back and they had the damn bull. You know what I mean? The currency. You know what I mean? The gold. Best believe they took a lot of gold out of Egypt. So the story goes. They took a lot of gods out of Egypt too. You know. But you know what I mean? None of that matters. You know what I mean? Like history doesn't matter, at this point now because it's shown that it has repeated itself. But what's so fucking weird is that history now will be based off of 9/11. The history books have been rewritten. The new generation ain't gonna really care about this space challenger thing that happened back in the '88. You know what I mean? They're not gonna care about who Ronald Reagan was. They don't care. They don't even know who that is. You know what I mean? Because of what has been allowed through the evolution of the internet. The internet don't even exist anymore. You don't have to go in and type www dot whatever. It's instant. It's AI is now conscious. And it has created a whole paradigm, a whole reality for people. Where outside, if this world, YouTube, the social media, the metaverse, whatever you want to call it, whatever corporate name it has, you know what I mean, for the dispensation of time, it's a meetup place, but it will also become hell. The last war to be fought will be the war for your mind. The last war to be fought will be the war for your mind. And you have to stand in position. You have to stand at the door to protect your mind, protect your heart, protect your loved ones, protect morals and values, not being afraid of anything. This world and all of its afflictions, this world and all of its perils, this world and all of its greatness and grandeur, you know what I mean, celebrations and joyous occasions, everything is commingled together. And so it is written, well, should we cut it down? No, let it all grow up. No, no, don't separate the wheat and the chaff yet. No, not yet. Not yet. It ain't time yet. It's gonna get cut all down at the same time, and then it's gonna be separated. And so I asked myself, what is it when it says that the wheat and the trust will be separated? You know, cut it all at one time, but separated. It's like, oh, hell, hell is not what we have been told, because just like heaven, hell hasn't been created yet. It's still being created. Heaven is still being created, because it is written, he says, I go to prepare a place for you. The true understanding and the true insight of it, that you too have the power to go create a place for yourself. But there's a sinister aspect of it that certain individuals, through cult-like fashions, because of the conviction and the understanding with true conviction that there is eternity is real. It's just time stamped with time through the conscious mind to 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 really even think about or understand what it is, what we're even doing here. The different mediums to keep the mind busy that was extrapolated out of opening, i.e., Pandora's box, right? Pandora's box, also another word for uh, the Ark and the Covenant. It, it it's not even a religious. The religion is the gate guard or the password to what this thing that we call life really is. A way of control the mind, as it's always been, even through physical slavery. Yeah, there was a point when there was physical slavery, and people would get beaten, made to do this and made to do that. But there still was a mental quagmire of why continue to subjugate yourself to it. Think about it. So now the one still remains. It's always been mental. The free man and the bondsman and the slave man and the soldier and the judge and the janitor and the bus driver, the CEO, everybody. We're all here in this one plane of existence. The Satanist, the atheist, the whatever the fuck you want to beist. Whether you want to be a man or a boy or ant or Comic Con, Halloween, whatever you want to be, anything you want to be, in this present reality, you can be and do. There's nothing that is not impossible anymore as it once was, which means that there was some type of stalemate or an agreement upon a certain time for things to take place and to be experiencing, or we are experiencing this climatic, like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, now Russia subs, or what's next? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, Donald Trump, he's been found guilty, but all the while though, it's still Donald Trump, and then Joe Biden, he looks dead, and I feel like I remember growing up in a world of George Bush, seeing a president, you know what I mean, that walk, oh, I'm George Bush, he walking with, hey, I'm George Bush, you know what I mean. What I say go, and that's what it's gonna be. To now we have this president, and he's a laughing stock, but it's almost as if like it's set up this way. Like it looks so fake. Like how, like, oh, like how convenient is America laughing stock all while we at war, all while we got this, and all while we got that, and all while Donald Trump, and all while we got this. Like how convenient can all this be happening all at one time unless it wasn't scripted? Come on, man. Common sense has now told me to trust in the I am. I have to reflect on that. Tell him I am sent you. In love being the in go between of me, you, us, we, that connection that's always permanently shown in design of a mother having the love for her child because of the umbilical cord, the connection, the tether, the tassel, the cord. You see? The connection. Back in the day without the Ethernet cord, you couldn't have internet. There was no Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? You had to sit back in the day, but this generation now, they'll never know about desktops that way, the big, bulky desktop and the floppy disk and dial-up and AOL. You got mail and Yahoo.com. You know what I mean? They'll know about the chat rooms and all that stuff. Now it's the devil, you know what I mean? Wear a new dress. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's gotten more in your face now. You know what I mean? Like it's standard. You know what I mean? Everybody get an iPhone nowadays. That's standard. Back in the day, you know what I mean? People, you see what I'm saying? Like it's standard. You know what I mean? As if like there is no time for the baby or the young adolescent mind to experience the beauty of life, but to come in with an afflicted world. There's no reason that a child should go hungry in this life, but it happens. There's no reason for a child to be kidnapped. There's no reason for a man or woman to molest a child. There's no reason that all of these things are happening to the children and nobody's doing nothing about it. There's a little black girl here in my local jurisdiction that's been missing since last year, and nobody's doing nothing about it. She's forgotten. I do as much as I can, but it the moment any child goes missing, the whole city should shut down, like, and go look for that child. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about if we did that. If we really loved our children, if we really were on what when we go to church on Sunday and profane and profess, oh well, we love the kids, and Jesus said if you harm any one of these, you really gonna experience hellfire. But we don't really. You see what I'm saying? Once a child goes missing, the whole shit should shut down and we go look for that child. But we don't do it. The greatest thing they can do is, oh, we'll offer a reward of $5,000 reward for her finding. Huh? That baby worth more than $5,000? But we don't care. And until it happens to you, then it's like, oh, please, somebody help. You need a GoFundMe. Why should money have any denomination on life? And now it's like, oh, I see why man takes it so easy and why there's war. To go to war takes billions and billions of dollars. Hold on, wait a minute. It costs to go to war? When life is taken freely, yeah, you got to pay for the bullets, but think about what you're saying. Think about what it takes to kill gods so that you won't feel bad about it. That's how man is treating life now. War, all the wars. You see who got the biggest and baddest army and nuclear bombs and all this other crazy shit? And then within all that, with man killing each other, they say, oh, there's no God. Huh? So if you're saying, if the world leaders and people in high places saying, oh, there's no God, there's no